Hello, I'm Kristen Koltik. Thanks for watching. So today I want to talk to you guys about something really serious, probably in my opinion, the biggest breakdown in our society, the biggest source of dysfunction, and something that's very apparent when we look around at our relationships, our families, our coworkers, our careers, really pretty much every human interaction that we are experiencing today. In some shape or another, this is showing up. So I want to start by just sharing a little story, hence the tagline. So I was, a couple of months ago, I was out with Micah. We stopped into a Wendy's. It was a big deal because I don't really allow him to eat fast food. So we stopped into a Wendy's and he was really excited. We were having sort of a Micah and Mama date. And I noticed that across the way from us was a young man, definitely a teenager, and his mother was there with him, but he was kind of dressed nicely, and his mother was coaching him a bit to prepare him for a job interview at the Wendy's. And I thought it was really sweet, just watching this mother encourage her son, and she was kind of strict and stern, but also offering, some encouragement and advice. And I really thought that it was awesome. So it piqued my interest, and I was just kind of like eavesdropping a little bit. But as so often is the case, I start feeling compelled to help. Not that this kid needed any help. It's just who I am. And sometimes I get sort of a bad rap for being a little bit invasive, sometimes even abrasive. But it really just comes from the passion that I have and the commitment I have to making the world a better place and to helping people. So anyway, so the kid's mom, she left, and he was just kind of sitting there, waiting to be called to the interview. And I was just kind of watching him, and I could see that he was very nervous and fidgety. And I just had it on my heart that I wanted to help him. And I wanted to share with him the one piece of advice that I pretty much give to everyone who has any type of relationship with me, which I think is the most important piece of advice that there is to give. And it wasn't necessarily for his interview, but more for him to take with him to throughout his whole life, whether, he got this job or didn't get this job. It was just a piece of advice I wanted to leave him with as he goes through his life as a young man. The world is his oyster at 16, 17 years old. So Micah and I were finishing up, and he was, we kind of had to walk past him in order to get out of the Wendy's. And I am going in my head should I offer this kid this advice, or should I just move on by, But I'm really a stan that people interact with one another, even strangers. If it's on your heart to talk to someone, why not talk to them? And I don't mean yelling at them because they cut you off in traffic. I mean, if you have something to give or contribute to someone, I don't see a reason to hold yourself back from that. So, I grabbed Micah's hand and I said, all right, come on, I gotta, talk to this kid real quick. So, I leaned down and I said, oh, are you here for a job interview? And he said, yes, ma'am. He called me ma'am, which was, sweet. In my head, I still think I'm 20. So that always brings me back to reality. But he was very polite. And I said, I just want to offer you a piece of advice. And he was like, okay. And so the piece of advice I gave him and I want to share with you, and I am going to make a second video that talks a lot more about this and why this piece of advice is so important. But for now, I'm just going to give you the advice that I gave him, which is all human beings want to love and to be loved. That is, to our core, what we want. And you can, you know, pretend that that's not what you want. Maybe you've been hurt in a relationship and you don't, you know, want to trust someone or open yourself up to being that vulnerable again. But I'm not even just talking about a romantic relationship. And again, I'm going to go deeper into this in the next video, but human beings all, like, we are social beings. We are, we have the desire to be connected to other people. That's why, solitary confinement is such a harsh punishment for prisoners, because to be isolated is not natural to human beings. And so because we all have this innate desire to love and be loved in return, and that is our core desire, being love and offering love and acting from a place of love makes you the most powerful person in the world. And that doesn't have to be, again, like in your romantic relationship, but it also, you know, as far as, you know, with your friends, with your children, with your parents, with your coworkers, and even with complete strangers, when you speak with someone or give to someone from a place of love, it makes you the most powerful person in the world. And that's because you get to contribute something which then has a trickling down effect. It spreads out. When you show someone, this is sort of, you know, like the whole pay it forward thing. When you show someone love and you act out of love, they feel good, and then they want to reciprocate that or pay it forward and show love or generosity and kindness to someone else. And when you can orchestrate that type of change in the world, you have all the power. So the advice I gave to this young man, and the advice I leave you with today, is that when you come from love and you act from love and you show love, even to strangers, even to people you don't like, maybe even to people that you hate, which I hope you don't hate anyone. That's like a really tough thing for me, but that's a whole other video. But yeah, when you come from a place of love and when you're being your authentic self, which is to show love, then you open yourself up not only to receive love back to you, but to spread love around the world. And that is how you have all the power to make a difference. God bless.